Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome online. We're going to give you a few minutes to come in and get yourself all ready to settle down and hear this incredible information tonight. I'm excited. I can't wait to get started. Our special guest this evening. So I want to welcome you to Brilliant Awakening, the Telesummit, quarterly Telesummit. Hey, Miss Joy, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being one of the first to come in to the page tonight and listen in. Appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. We are so excited. We've got a special guest coming to join us tonight, and I cannot wait to get into this content. For those of you who don't know me or are not familiar with me, my name is Paula McDade. I am the founder of Brilliant Awakening TV as well as Brilliant Awakening magazine. I'm the editor-in-chief of that publication and super excited to bring you this quarterly telesummit with these amazing women that we have lined up this week, and tonight is no exception. We have Ty Goodwin Castens, who is going to join us here shortly as our special guest tonight, and I can't wait to get her on the broadcast so that we can hear from her this evening. I hope everyone's having a great Monday. Sunday was an amazing evening. Hey, Ty, good to see you. So you said, I'm here. Can't wait to go live with you. All right. So if you would like, go ahead and request to join me on the screen, and then I will add you, and your picture, your screen, your video will come up on the right top hand of the screen. So I will wait for you to do that, or let me see, maybe I can request to be in your broadcast. There we go. I had to turn it on first. Okay. All right. So now I have enabled the request feature. So now you should be able to go in and request to be added to the broadcast. So again, welcome everybody who is joining us. Those of you who are joining us for the first time, we're excited that you're here on Brilliant Awakening TV. We're excited about this week's Telesummit. We have some amazing women lined up to join us to share information with you, to help you just understand different issues that we face. We're going to unpack some of those issues. Brilliant Awakening's quarterly Telesummit is designed for the woman who wants to break barriers this year and awaken her full potential, featuring 5 powerhouse women sharing their insights on the issues that women face in the workplace, in their families, and in business. So I am super excited this week to be joining you every evening at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 Eastern. If you're on the East Coast, it should be about 9 o'clock where you are. Ty, I am not seeing you. I'm not seeing your request, so I'm not sure if you are unable to request. You should be. I've enabled the feature that allows you to. It's not letting me request it. Okay, so hang on. Let me get request to be allow viewers to send you a request. All right. Are you add viewers to be? Okay, let me just add you then. That's how we can do that. Let me just add you. See, T-A-I. There you are. I've just sent you an invite. So with that, you should be able to join me here. Hopefully that will work. I think it should work. So let's see here. Awesome. All right. Meanwhile, again, I hope that everyone had a great Monday. Today was great for me. I had a really productive day, got a lot done today, and I have been looking forward all weekend to tonight's broadcast. So I am so excited. Can't wait to get Ty on here. We're just waiting for her to go ahead and join us on the screen here in just a moment. Hey, everybody who's joining us, if you want to just type in the comments, say hello and let me know that you're here. I know Joy has already joined us. Joy Hayward, thank you so much from the Baltimore area for being here. Alfreda, hey, welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you this evening. We're waiting for our guest to join us. We've already put out the request for her to come on the screen. I see, let's see, Charlotte, welcome. Miss Carla, Glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. We appreciate you so much. Again, just waiting for our special guest to join us on the screen here, Miss Ty Goodwin Castens. She should be with us shortly. Of course, you know this technology is somewhat tricky at times, and so often things will kind of get tripped up in the process of trying to get connected, but we are going to just be patient with this process with the understanding that it is all good. It's all good. I will tell you that our topic tonight is one that is of interest probably to every single one of us. We've probably all found ourselves caught up in some form of another, comparing ourselves to other women. And avoiding the comparison trap is our topic tonight. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. That's what Ty is going to address with our audience. Ty, just type me a message if you're not able to get in or if there's something going wrong on your end, and just let me know how that's working out. But avoiding the comparison trap, you know, we've all done it at some point in time. Hey, Miss Tanya, welcome. Great to have you. We've all done it at some point, and you know, it's just something that we have got to address, this whole comparison trap. And you know, I have a theory about comparison that I finally come to a conclusion about that. It says, did the invite go to Gmail? No, actually, you should see it in your Facebook. It should be popping up on your screen, on your, I'm hoping that you're using some type of either phone or tablet or something, Ty, and so you should see it on your screen. It should let you know that you've been invited by me to join the broadcast. So hopefully that's working out. Say, Ty, it's a green camera on screen. Yeah. So Alfreda's giving you some directions. She said it's the green camera on screen. So that's what it looks like, Ty, for you on your end. So if you'll just tap that little green camera, that should, you're on your Mac, okay? I'm assuming that's where you typically do your Facebook Lives from. And if so, there should be some type of mechanism to get you on with me. I'm not familiar with the technology. The closest I've ever gotten is an iPhone, but I no longer use iPhone. I'm on Android now, so I don't know how that works, Ty. Miss Alfreda, if you are able to go in the back door and sort of communicate with Ty and see if we can't get her connected properly, I would certainly appreciate that. It just, sometimes things happen. But I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Ty before she even gets online. This may actually be more comfortable for her. She said my invite was not in Gmail. Okay, yeah, it won't be in Gmail. It'll be actually on your screen, on your device once again. So let me go ahead and give Ty's bio before she gets on. It might actually be a little more comfortable for her so that she doesn't have to hear all this. I know it's kind of awkward when you're giving the person's credentials while they're standing there or while they're listening. It gets kind of awkward. So let me just read a little bit about Ty. Believing that the lessons we live divinely position us to sow into the lives of others, Ty Goodwin boldly speaks about finding the courage to live and speak your truth. Her own life lessons have come from firsthand experience of abuse, dysfunction, and divorce. In 2009, she made a life-changing decision. She left everything she knew behind and moved halfway across the country to Minnesota on a mission to create a better life for herself and her daughter. In her book, Girlfriend, It's Your Time, Ty shares her story of thriving, moving beyond just surviving her past to thriving in a purpose-based, passion-filled life. Today, she lives life on her own terms as an entrepreneur and founder of the Brilliant Business Girlfriends community. Her vision is to help more women see, well, of course, my screen wants to go crazy here, help more women see the pain of their past as facets of the brilliance they get to share with the world. So that is her bio. And once again, Ty Goodwin Castens is her name. She is the founder of the Brilliant Girlfriends community, Brilliant Business Girlfriends community. So she should be joining us here shortly. Again, we're having some sort of back end technical stuff going on with her getting on the broadcast. So, but tonight we are talking about the comparison trap. And how we as women sometimes get caught up in that. And often it doesn't matter. I know, right? Yes, come through, Ty, right? Often it doesn't matter how successful we are. It doesn't matter how many degrees we have behind our name, how many accolades we have, how many businesses we've started, or how successful our marriages and families are. It's still very tempting to start comparing yourself to other women. Why that is, it may just be because of the way that we are wired. It may just have something to do with how we're made up. But what I do know is that we all have something special to bring to the world. We all have something brilliant to offer, and there is no need for comparison. It's just like a rose comparing itself to a violet. If you compare those two, they're both gorgeous. They're both beautiful. They both have amazing fragrance. And so you can enjoy both the rose and the violet without having to compare the two. There is no comparison. God made them both, and they're both awesome and amazing. And so I feel like we as women are just like the rose, just like the violet. We should not be comparing ourselves to one another, because we all have something unique and something beautiful to bring to the world. And it has nothing to do with how we look. It has nothing to do with looks. It has nothing to do with status. It has nothing to do with how much money we earn or how many degrees we have behind our name. It has everything to do with the God within us and the fact that he created us and he is the creator. So, Ty, I see that you're commenting on on my commentary here about comparison. Are you not able to get on and join us this evening? I'm so sad, because I need you to end this conversation. This is so needed. We have to talk about this. We have to have this conversation. And so I'm hoping that you were able to somehow get your technical situations in the background taken care of. But in the meantime, I'm just flying with it. I'm just going with the topic tonight. And if any of you have comments that you want to make about, she said, I have no green and white icon. Okay, so she doesn't have, it may just be that Mac is not set up to do Facebook Live. I'm not sure. I don't know if you've ever done Facebook Live before. Do you have a cell phone that you can dial, or that you can come into the broadcast on the cell phone instead? Because I would sure like to get you in on this conversation. It would just be a shame for you not to be able to join us tonight. So she needs to be on mobile. Okay, Charlotte says that you need to be on a mobile phone. So if that's the case, Ty, then I'm going to suggest that you grab I'm assuming you're an iPhone user since you have a Mac. Grab your iPhone and join us, maybe. And then you'll be able to see that icon that we're talking about, the green camera that you can join us with. But again, if any of you want to chime in, if you have comments, if you have commentary that you want to share about this topic tonight, please feel free to jump in. I would love to see your thoughts about the comparison trap. We all know it exists. We can deny it if we want to, but it does exist. Even on our best days, there are times when we are tempted to compare ourselves. And it's just a matter of knowing and understanding who you are so that you don't get sucked into that trap. So if you have comments about tonight's topic before Ty joins us, please feel free to join us in the conversation. Give us your thoughts, your comments, your questions. I welcome questions as well. It says, I find myself comparing even when I reach new goals. There really there will always be something bigger, right? Yeah, absolutely, Carla. So, those of us who are very goal oriented sometimes really get sucked into this comparison thing, because that's our nature. We're competitive. We're goal oriented. We've always got to be striving for the next. We've always got to be achieving and reaching new goals. And I think some of that is just an internal motivation that is built into us, our personalities and the way that we're wired. But the thing about it is that you have to have a very, very crystal clear understanding of who you are, just internally. Who are you? What is your makeup? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What do you like? What are your dislikes? What about you is so amazing and so unique? What are the gifts about you that God has placed within you that he intends for you to maximize? Once you start to explore all of that and become really comfortable with that internal conversation, you'll find that comparison begins to die down. you'll find that that is no longer, I'm not going to say you never are going to feel tempted, because, you know, we're all tempted. But at the same time, having a really crystal clear picture of who you are, you know, just as a created being, and then as a person, a human being, you know, you really, that will help you to start to be less tempted to go there, Carla. So thank you for that question. I appreciate that. Again, the comparison trap. Any thoughts about, is there a time in your life where you have been tempted to compare yourself with someone, either on social media or in real life? Is comparison a problem in your workplace, in your career? Do you compare yourself to maybe younger women, or women who you find more, you think are more attractive or more beautiful than you? You know, talk to me about this topic. I want to know. I want to hear from you. Okay, so we have Ty. Yay, she's here. She's here. She's here. Yay. Oh, that's Joe. Okay, so that's okay. I'm gonna add. I'm just gonna be spontaneous here and add you, Joe. Thank you for jumping in. Okay, so hey, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. So here's the deal. You are sideways. And so is there a way for you to rotate yourself where you're upright?
I can, but you know what? Your picture is sideways on my phone.
Are you serious? Okay.
I'm not, yeah. So I can turn it so that we're the same. How's that?
Yay! How about that?
Okay.
Okay, awesome. I'm so glad that you made it. I appreciate you persevering and pushing through all the difficulties and coming online. I am super excited. I've already read your bio, so you don't have to feel awkward about that part.
Nope, I heard. I was listening in. I was there. But yeah, I didn't know that I couldn't do it on the computer, so I apologize for that. And I stole my husband's phone.
Okay, so that's why I said Joe. I was like, okay, I don't know who Joe is, but I'm going to go ahead and step out on faith and just let this person in. So anyway, thank you so much, Ty, for being here tonight. As you know, our topic is avoiding the comparison trap.
Yes.
And I just want to jump right into the content. First of all, you know, of course, I love the name of your business, the Brilliant Business Girlfriends. You know, of course, brilliant is, I'm all about that, right? So first of all, before we jump into content, talk to me about that organization, that community that you built.
Yeah, so, you know, I had the vision for Brilliant Business Girlfriends about 3 years ago when I first started my first Facebook group. And I was really looking for a way to connect women who are coaches, consultants, holistic practitioners, those of us who are in the transformation industry. I was looking for a networking and connection opportunity for us because of the work that we do. We are specialists in helping people transform, but the question that I always have is, who feeds our soul? Who feeds our spirit? And so I wanted to create that community for us.
Awesome. Great idea. And you're spot on, because you're right. We pour into people almost all day, every day. And so we just need to have someone who is feeding into us and building us up. So yay, amazing. Well, I'm going to have to check out your community and become a part of what you're doing, because certainly I fit the profile. So yes. All right. So the comparison trap. So we've already delved into it a little bit, but talk to me, you know, give me your thoughts. You work with women all the time. You have a community full of women. How do you see this manifest across the landscape of society right now?
Well, you know, I see it in a lot in this online world. You know, a lot of us, we have messages. Like to say we have stories that are etched in our hearts and messages that we want to share. And when we come into an online marketplace, we are looking around at all the other women that have stories too. And we're like, well, how can I be like that person is? Or we might seeing a person that's getting a lot of likes on Facebook, and this person is getting all these opportunities. And we tend to think that it is just magic or luck. And the reality of a lot of that is that they have stepped up and asked for those things, and they have put in a lot of hard work.
Yes.
And so a lot of times we're doing that comparison thing. It's partly because, and my brother, he's a Christian rapper, and I totally stole this line from him. He says, everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do the work of becoming.
Wow. Okay.
Isn't that deep?
I like that.
Right? Like we all want to have like that awesome headshot, right? We want to have, you know, like the glam look. We want to be featured here. We want to be invited to do X, Y, and Z. But what we don't always realize is that what we're looking at is that person 5, 6, 7 years in the making.
Come on now.
And when you're just starting out, you're still trying to figure it out, and you're comparing where you are now to that person's 5, 6, 10 years in the making, working with mentors, spending
Yes.
thousands of dollars to get where they are, and not realizing that, especially if you're a trailblazer. I talk about 4 different archetypes, and the trailblazer, people want to see our journey. We make the
Wow.
mistake of thinking that people always want to see the finished product.
Right. Right.
But the truth is, we want to see the journey. Like, we're
Yes.
looking for that process. We're looking for how you practice this, not
Yes.
the perfect thing that you want to show us. We're
True.
looking for how you practice to get where you are. And when
Wow.
we don't show people that, what we're doing is we're keeping them from the opportunity to see themselves.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Because, they can relate to that struggle. They can relate to, oh, wow, I didn't have any followers, or I wasn't getting any speaking engagements, or, I
Yeah.
had no idea where I was going to start with my book. And, so yeah, you're right. They can see themselves in that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
get
and I
it.
can break it down. I'll give you one more example, because there's someone that I'm just starting to work with, and we talk about this a little bit, is that, if you are trying to help people with weight loss,
Hmm.
and you might be thinking that I have to lose 100 pounds in order to help people with weight loss. And whoever needs to hear this, you can start where you are right now.
Yes.
Because if I've got 200 pounds to lose and you've only got 100 pounds to lose, I want to know how you did what you did,
Yes.
and I'm going to follow you. So it's not always that you have to be perfect to present yourself, but you do have to be practicing.
Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay. Well, I think you're right. I've been guilty of just presenting, the finished product so often. And every once in a while, I get an epiphany that I probably need to share some of my backstory. And when I do, I get a much better response from people. They tend to, sit up and go, oh, wow, I had no idea that you were a teen mom twice. I had no idea that you came out of sexual abuse. I had no idea that you had, so yeah, you're right. When you begin to show that authentic journey that starts from the beginning and to where you are now, people can really plug into that and get something out of it. So awesome,
Yeah,
amazing. So,
absolutely.
here's the $1 million question, Ty. Have you ever compared yourself to anyone?
Course, of course. Looking at people. I'll give you a real example. I love to be transparent, and I always tell my clients I practice what I preach. And so I had stepped away from my business for 2.5 years, and I went into work for a marketing technology startup here in the Twin Cities. And I decided in September of last year to come back and, relaunch my business again. And I can tell you, for the first month or 2 months, I was really miserable, because I was seeing all the people that I was contemporaries with 2.5 years ago. They had grown by leaps and bounds. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you know, what's going
Right?
on? And
Yeah.
realizing that, I still had to put some more skin in the game. They had
Wow.
2.5 years to
Yeah.
do the work, to build those relationships. And I had been pretty much invisible while I was in that job, because
Yeah.
my contract said that I could not take on clients while I was working in that, for
Wow.
that
Wow.
company. And so
Okay.
I was doing a comparison thing. Well, this
Wow.
person's doing XYZ, and I got the same skills, and I know the same things, and how come it's not happening, and da da da. And I
Mhm.
had to chill out. I
Wow.
said, my journey is not their journey. you
Yes.
know
Yeah.
I'm here where I am because of whatever assignment I'm supposed to complete.
Yes.
And I could totally miss out on my own growth. I could totally miss out on the people that I'm supposed to connect to now, if my eyes are always focused on what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
That's a
the
word.
yeah, because the people that I can touch right now, they can't, that's not for them.
That's not for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, because so often you're right. There are those who, right now their assignment is to work for someone else. They have to work. They're in a
Mhm.
job. They're in a 9 to 5. They may or may not like their job. And so they're feeling sort of left out, if you will, like, oh, wow, I see all these people, building their brands, and they're doing the coaching and the speaking and the this and that and the other. And so I'll tell you, I got caught up in this with a young lady that I consider amazing mentor, does some awesome things with regard to sexual abuse survivors. And,
Yeah.
I saw her building her brand, and she had put it out there. And I mean, she had tons of followers and had this big event going on every year. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I admire her so much for what she's doing. And, I have a similar story. I could probably do something like that. So, I got this brilliant epiphany that I was supposed to start this organization. And, that's not to say that I couldn't help sexual abuse survivors, and I still can.
Right.
But I think what I was doing was I was maybe trying to feed off what she was doing and maybe start something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't fly. I mean, and again, it's not to say that wasn't a good idea, but there's a difference between a good idea and a God idea. I always say that the God ideas are the ones that are divinely inspired
Yeah.
and divinely anointed. And those are the things that when you put your hands to them, there's no doubt that that is where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. And I feel like Brilliant Awakening is that for me. The
Right.
other thing that I was doing, it kind of went wah 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 wah, and yeah, it wasn't the thing. And
Yeah.
so there are people who are working that 9 to 5 job who may feel like,
Uh-huh.
wow, I'd rather be building my business. I'd rather be building my brand. And you come from the corporate world. I understand that
I
you
do.
you were a
Mhm.
full-time employee, and then you transitioned over to your own
Yeah.
business. So talk
Mhm.
about that transition. What did that look like for you?
Well, I call it an employedpreneur, right? An
Mm-hmm.
employed entrepreneur. And what I would say is my day job was my fundraising gig for my part-time business, right?
Okay.
And that's where I was, for a while. And there is nothing wrong with that. I mean, you think about people who are actors. They will tell you that before they got their gig, they were grave diggers, they were working in hotels, restaurants. I mean, people fundraise to support their passion all the time. So there is no shame in anybody's game. There's a need to be if that's where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I made that transition. I was planning on leaving my job, my first job back in 2013. And then they decided they wanted me to relocate from Minnesota to Boston, and that was not going to happen. So they
Gotcha.
said, well, would you like to relocate or would you like to take a severance package? I will take the severance package,
Right.
please. Thank
Thank you
you.
very
You
much.
know,
Yes.
and that's what that transition was like. There are other people that are able to make the transition on their own terms. They just say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Some people, they end up being let go or laid off and not realizing that that is a blessing in not
In
even
disguise.
blessing in disguise. It's a blessing. It's an
Yes.
open door for them to get into what they want to do next. And
Absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with being in a transitional state, but I understand how that feels, especially
Hmm.
when it looks like everybody else has everything together.
Right.
And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't
Yeah.
know, what I'm thinking. I don't know how. I can't. That's a normal place to be. And I hate that when you're in any kind of transition, not knowing, right? It's the
Transition is
hardest thing.
it's uncomfortable. I'm in a semi-transition right now, and it's just flat uncomfortable. No
It
one
is.
likes to be in. I've never heard anyone go, "Woohoo! I'm in transition." It's kind of one
Yeah,
of those things like, God, can we just hurry up and get through this, please? And I think what makes it
exactly.
a little easier is if you will go ahead and start just taking mental notes about what you're dealing with during the transition and
Yeah.
really asking God, what are the lessons here that I need to be taking away from this season in my life? What are the things that I really need to hone in on and so that I can maximize this transition time and make it smoother? Because I'll tell you one thing that doesn't work is fighting against transition. That will make it
That's
miserable.
true. That's true. And I
Yeah.
think we live in a culture where a lot of times we feel like it's either one or two things, right? If you grew up in a black church, sometimes they will tell you, oh, it's the rough side of the mountain and it's supposed to be hard. I don't 100% buy into that. But then
Mhm.
on the other side, we have this idea that it's supposed to be super easy and smooth, and that's how I'll know it's right. And the reality is, neither one of those extremes are true. It is what it is. And when you're in that transition, the best thing that you can do is make a decision and make a choice. There is no magic wand that's going to come out of the sky and tell you that, yes, my child, this is the time for you. It doesn't happen. It's like, well, when is the right time to have a child? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It will happen, but make a choice. And I know one of the things we struggle with as women, especially women who have been through, like, you've been through abuse, or you've been through trauma, you've been, as I like to say, your brilliance has been dimmed by circumstances and life's events, is that we often settle for what we think we can get instead of making a decision and a declaration about what we want and moving towards it.
Wow.
You know?
Whoa. Okay, so we often settle for what we think we can get instead of
Mm-hmm.
making a declaration and a decision to go for what we want.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Think about
Wow.
all think about all the women that are in jobs, right? Because this is the job that I think that I can get. This is the salary that I think I am qualified for. And
Uh-huh.
then to come to find out, you're getting paid $10,000, $15,000 less than everybody else
Right.
because you
Right.
didn't speak up and ask for what you really wanted. You just settled for it. And, some of this is part of our upbringing, right? Our parents and our community, they wanted us to be safe. They want us to be stable. And
Mm-hmm.
so you don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
You just go
Yeah.
along with everything.
Go along with
And
the
then we
flow.
compare ourselves to other people. And this is a thing that I don't know if you probably have heard this.
Oh, we lost her. We lost her. We lost her. No. Oh, okay. Well, she'll be back. I have no doubt. Ty will be back. She just dropped off for a second. Carla, I do see your question, and I can guarantee you that Ty has some advice for you. This is what she specializes in. She helps people to make that entrepreneurial transition, to go from, whatever life they had to going into business. So I know that when she comes back, she will definitely want to speak with you. Yeah, I know, right, guys? Like, no, no. So here she is. She's back. So hang tight. Okay, she's coming back on, guys. Just bear with
Oh,
us for a
there we
while.
go.
Okay. There we go. There we go.
It must have been really getting good.
It was getting good. It was. Yes, absolutely.
um,
But see how
but
smoothly we transitioned
that's
into
right.
that?
We're smooth about it. We're
That's right.
resilient.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I was saying, you've heard the term where somebody will look at a woman or somebody that's doing something and say, "Who does she think she is?"
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
Or she thinks she cute. Those kind of things. And what we're doing is we're judging people,
Yes.
but inside we're really like, I wish I could do that
I
same
wish
thing.
I could. Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
But we've
Absolutely.
settled.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we see other people that are stepping up and stepping out. And I think
Hmm.
it's a cultural thing too. I was at an event for teenage entrepreneurs or teenage wannabe entrepreneurs a couple of weeks ago. And I was actually talking to a few African women.
Hmm.
And one of the girls at the table said that she talked to her counselor, and her counselor had told her that she couldn't do X, Y, and Z. And
Oh, wow.
immediately the two women of African descent were like, oh no, we don't do that.
Right.
They were like, if he would have told me no, I would have asked for somebody else to talk to. I would have come back 2 days later and found and asked him again. I would have just kept asking, kept asking, kept asking. And that was a real epiphany for me. See, in
Wow.
American culture, a lot of us women, when we hear no, we just be like, okay,
Yeah. Settle
right?
for, okay, well, yeah, and I've heard that, if you're trying to gain wealth or you're trying to build wealth, don't ask a broke person. If you're trying to get healthy, don't ask someone who sits around and eats bonbons all day. You need to be talking
Right.
to the right people. And speaking of which, we do have Carla Chapman ask a question about transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship. I
Mm-hmm.
know Carla personally, so I can tell you a little bit of her background. She is a military veteran. And
Mm-hmm.
so she is transitioning from military life into entrepreneurship. And she wants some tips on how to make that transition from going from military life to entrepreneurship on a full-time basis.
Well, I actually have a whole ebook. Somebody was just asking me this question earlier today, and it's the 12 steps to launching while working, right? And so, the first things I can tell her is to get a plan in place and learn as much as you can. A lot of times what we're seeing right now, especially in this online world, is people they're doing what they see someone else do.
Right.
And then we have a lot of people who are teaching what they saw someone else do. Not that they've done
Mhm.
it,
Okay.
But they're like, here are the 6 steps. And I learned this from so-and-so. And so I'm going to teach you the 6 steps.
Right.
You have to learn how to be an entrepreneur. It's
Okay.
not just about passion and purpose. I love passion and purpose. I would talk about it all day if I could.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, an entrepreneur's job is to figure out how to make money.
Wow.
And if you don't know how to make money, I don't care. You might be the best coach. You might be the best health and wellness practitioner. You might be the best essential oils salesperson. But if you don't know and learn how to make money, you will go out of business in 2 or 3 years.
It's an expensive hobby.
Exactly. It's a hobby that will put you in debt, that will cause arguments with you and your husband or your spouse.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes, Jesus. Yes.
Yeah. You have to learn how to be in business, and you have to learn how to market. If you are the kind of person that says, I don't like to sell, I don't like to have conversations with people, do not be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Your livelihood depends on your ability to speak up.
That's right.
In our community, one of the things we say, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
When you're watching all these other people and they got clients, it's because they spoke up. People didn't magically come to them. Like I tell my clients this all the time. Nobody goes to bed thinking of you at night. Right? Not like, oh, I just really need Ty Goodwin in my life. She's so, they don't think about that. They're thinking about their problem. Yeah. And so they're not going to magically come to me. I have to make myself visible. I have to continue to talk about the results that I help people get. Not just that I'm a coach. Right. Because there's lots of coaches, but what is it that I help people do? Yes. And those are the elements that you want to get down. And oh my goodness, don't get me started on talking about pricing. Whoa. Right? we undercharge. And I've said this and people laugh, but it's true. If you were going to do a whole lot of work for a little bit of money, you might as well have stayed at your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I hear you. Okay. Well, those are good nuggets. Okay, Ty. So you have been amazing. You've given us so much information. I know that our viewers are going to want to connect with you after the broadcast. They're going to know how to get in touch with you. So this is your opportunity to give us your commercial. Let us know how we can connect with you on social media. Do you have a website? Give us the goods.
I do. So I have a website. It's tygoodwin.com. And we both share this love of the word brilliant. And I have a Facebook community for brilliant business girlfriends. It's a free community, but I'm gonna be real, keep it real. I do kick people out. Whoa. So if you are a lurker and you don't contribute and connect with people, right, we're not having it, because it's my job to protect the women in my community, right? Yes. So we engage, we have, virtual meetings, we do all kinds of things in the group to help build connections and relationships. I see Carla has a question about the name of the ebook. It's called 12 Steps to Launching While Working. Now, here's what I'll do, because it seems like that's a hot topic. If folks put a comment down or they send me a private message, you can find me at Ty Goodwin on, Facebook as well. I will dig that out of the archives and I will grant that to people. I haven't used it in a while, but it's 12 steps. It's all about, what do you do? Everything from figuring out what your business idea is to making that plan so that you have a target date. Otherwise, you'll be staying at your job forever. But how do you put that date in place and then work towards it?
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, so tygoodwin.com is how you can find her online, but she also has the Brilliant Business Girlfriends community here in a Facebook group. You can join her, but you better be active because she'll kick you out, which, I get it, Ty. You have to protect your tribe, right? Well, Ty, thank you so much for being such an incredible guest. You have given us such amazing wisdom tonight on just a lot of different topics, but definitely the comparison trap. We all have been there. We all understand it. And thank you for your business acumen as well, for the fact that you are able to pour into so many women and help them build amazing brands and businesses. We appreciate you and look forward to having you again sometime in the very near future, and wish you the best with everything that you have going on.
Well, thank you. And I know you have an amazing lineup coming up this week, so I'm going to be in tune, and I really thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, and thank you guys for joining us tonight, for participating, for your questions, for your hearts and your thumbs up. You guys rock. You're amazing. We'll see you back here tomorrow evening at the same time, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss the Brilliant Awakening Telesummit, because it is information designed to help you build family, business, career. Hope you have a great night. Bye-bye.